I think you create yourself a certain niche and a certain level above other designers when you are designing ahead of the trends.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Bespoke. My name's Christina.
And I'm Sarah Zohar, lead designer and owner of Sarah Z Designs.
We're so happy to have you here. So today's topic is trade shows and why they matter. Sarah, you are a veteran at the trade shows.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, how long have you been attending?
I would say I've been attending trade shows from the beginning of my career.
Right.
I think they're an integral part of being an interior designer. Not to mention that, of course, you find inspiration wherever you are.
go.
But I think for young designers coming into the industry, it is super, super imperative that they travel wherever the shows are to discover and find new resources and new trends that are up and coming in the industry.
100%, it keeps you current.
Of course,
Yes.
100. It not only keeps you current, but it keeps you ahead. I think you create yourself a certain niche and a certain level above other designers when you are designing ahead of the trends.
100%.
If that makes sense.
Yes, you're getting in front of something before it's like widely popularized.
Exactly.
Yeah, especially
Exactly.
when you're going to these international trade shows. You're seeing things that aren't necessarily in trend here in the US yet.
And not only that, it's not only about trends, but you don't know how your style evolves. Like
Right.
when I started interior design, I was specializing in traditional design. And a lot of the styles that I was designing were Rococo styles and more traditional and golds
very,
and
like,
empire
grand.
styles and different periods throughout history where design started. And as I started traveling to Europe and particularly Italy and Milan, my style really changed to become more modern,
More
more fine
contemporary.
lines, more contemporary. And it's just, amazing how you don't realize, but you evolve over time. And a lot of it is thanks to the shows.
Yes, and from the top of your head, could you let them know what shows you've attended?
Of course. So there's a lot of shows.
Yes.
They're all over the world, but particular favorites of mine are Salone
Yes.
de Mobile in Milan, Maison Objet in Paris, and what's better than to be in
What's
Paris
better
or
than
Milan?
Paris? Like,
And then you have current, national shows like
right, like Atlanta.
Atlanta, High Point, which is very important as well, because, not what you necessarily see in Milan will you see at High Point or vice versa. So I think the combination of the shows really makes you more well-rounded as a designer, and it allows you to have multiple resource channels and a lot of vendors to work with when
Yes.
it comes to different clients and different prospects.
Right, and building those relationships. It's a great networking opportunity.
100%. It's all about networking. It's
That
all
was-
about relationships. It's all about collaborations.
Yes.
It's also going out to dinners and partying, because then it becomes personal. Like you and
Right.
I are sitting and it becomes personal. If I'm in a jam or I need something, I know who to call. And
Your
of course,
friend at XYZ would be able to help you out.
Verse, you know me, because you work with me,
Right.
obviously. But I don't do well with emails. I need a face behind the email. I need to know the person.
You're a very in-person person.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
and that's part of the greatness of traveling and
Yes.
going to the shows.
Exactly, and it's a great opportunity to catch up with
Yes,
people that you haven't seen
100%.
in a while. Could you tell us a little more about your first trade show, the first one you've gone to, and your experience there? Any memorable moments?
So the first trade show I'll speak about Europe because I think that was a little scarier and a little more
Right.
unknown. Traveling to Milan for the first time as a woman designer, not really knowing how to navigate, not
The
knowing the street,
world.
not knowing the trains, not knowing, where am I situated as far as my hotel versus
Right.
the show, which was maybe 2 train stops away, like in Rofiera, and just kind of learning, it's a huge show. So going with a plan, you have to go with
Right.
a plan because the show is a week. So it's impossible to see every building
Yeah, you can't
and
tackle everything in
every
one day.
showroom. And then who do you connect with? How do
Right.
you make those connections when you're a first time designer starting out your career and trying to meet the right reps or the right companies? Because you're going into this huge, humongous space and it's so overwhelming,
Yeah, I'm sure it's intimidating.
very intimidating, but it was exhilarating at the same time. And you make so many connections and just one vendor leads you to another and it creates this community
Like a
in this
network.
industry 100%. And I always say I'm very lucky and I'm very blessed because
Yes.
we're in one of the best industries.
100%, especially for forming connections, and it's so creative and collaborative.
Right.
It's the perfect spot to build long-lasting relationships.
100% agreed.
So I have a little game for us.
Okay.
So what I'm going to
Okay.
do is I'm going to name different categories, and you'll tell me the best trade shows to go for those specific
I like
categories.
this game.
I
Okay.
know, you're an expert. So if we're doing furniture,
Furniture, Milan, Salone de Mobile, or High Point.
okay. Next, accessories. We love accessories, especially
We love
with Rocheline.
accessories,
We get,
so-
we get a new shipment every
Right.
week.
We have a sister company that's actually my daughter's, Rocheline Home
Yes.
Accessories, but we really specialize in curating accessories from all over the
All
world.
over
So,
the world.
but Atlanta is a great resource for accessories. The Atlanta
gift
Market
show.
gift show, Maison Objet in September and January in Paris. And also, you know what? You don't really need a show. If you travel in Europe or you travel wherever you may
Right.
be, and you just find odds and ends, which even are one-time pieces that our clients love because they don't want to have someone.
They want to have something everyone has.
They want that special piece. So I'll give you a perfect example. I was in Arizona on a family vacation and I just walked into this amazing crystal store and I found this phenomenal cut amethyst agate and it looked like ragged edges, kind of like a volcanic stone, kind of like from the movie Superman. Remember
Love
that
that, with the kryptonite?
Yes. And it just was spectacular. And I remember my client coming into the office for a meeting and I had just had it placed because I unwrapped it and he was in love with it. And he said, Sarah, I have to have that. I said, okay, then it's yours.
It's yours. Take
Because it was one of a kind.
it. Yeah, especially with crystals and
Yes.
the raw. Yeah, those are one of one.
Gorgeous.
100%. Now, if we're doing wall coverings,
Oh, wow. So wall coverings are everywhere.
Right.
I would say Deco Off in Paris. All the new introductions come out. Arte, LET, some beautiful brands that we love to use.
Yes.
Philip Jeffries.
Jeffrey
Michaels is a great outlet. There's just beautiful, beautiful introductions. And once you get used to traveling to the shows, you form a lot of relationships with the vendors.
Yes.
And they eventually send you all the new introductions. But don't say that too loud because I still love to travel to the shows. It's my outlet.
Yes, we have to. The travel's good for you. It's good for
It's great.
inspiration.
It's great. Every time I feel like I have a design block, which happens,
Right.
and I need inspiration, on a
You gotta get on a plane
somewhere to
Gotta
get
go.
that new blood flowing, that new
Exactly,
inspiration.
to get the juices running.
Yes.
Yes. And lastly, if we're talking textiles, fabrics, what's your favorite? Where are your
So
favorites?
Deco Off, definitely.
Deco
It's all the new introductions in January in Paris. It's freezing and the showrooms are all outdoors and
Oh,
you walk from
Lord.
showroom to showroom. But is truly, truly inspiring. I remember I took my son, who was 16, 2 years ago, with me to Paris, and he loves fashion. He's all about
Yes.
fashion. He kind of like also styles me,
Yeah.
and he's like, I said, "Do you love fashion? I
Like,
want you to
come
see how
on.
fashion ties into interior design because
Right.
a lot of times, I don't know if you know this, but some of the color trends you could get off men's ties. So
Wow.
if you look at men's ties, a lot of times the colors are what's going to be trending in interior design later on because fashion is always ahead of interior design.
Wow.
So I took him with me to Paris and he was freezing, but he had a
Oh
blast.
my
And he
God.
was like, wow, I really, because they converted a wall covering and a fabric into a suit and a woman's dress. And I said, look how it all ties
It
in.
all ties
All
together. It's
ties
all
together.
interlinked. It's just
Yes.
so, so cool. What would you say are the main differences between shows that are a bit more general, like Atlanta Market or High Point, versus specialized shows like Coverings in Orlando or KBIS that are more specified?
So KBIS and coverings, which is a lot of tiles and wall coverings and finishes, and KBIS, which is kitchen bath, um, is more collaborative and more learning experiences where you have a lot of speakers and it's
Right.
more catered to up and coming trends in kitchens or baths and coverings, as well as new codes and new ways, a lot of new construction installation ideas for GCs. So you see a
Right.
lot of like architects and GCs also attending those
Attending those.
shows where I remember in coverings they were teaching a new way of how to install a shower floor
Right.
with membrane versus like the way
Wow. We
we typically
typically,
install it. So I think that there's a lot of new instruction, a lot of new companies putting their footing forward as far as advancement in the workplace and advancement in technology as far as whatever goes into the construction or the design end of it.
right. They're more educational, you would say, the specified shows.
100%.
Whereas a place like Atlanta Market and a High Point, it's like a bit more fun. You get to shop around.
Right.
Like
You definitely need a comfortable pair of
for
sneakers because you're
sure.
walking and you're walking and you're walking and it's endless and it's one showroom after the next. But they are very hospitable because I have to say
Of
every
course.
showroom has a full spread of drinks and food and everyone serves lunch and you just sit there and everybody's tired but at the same time it's exhilarating and you're collaborating and you're meeting new people and you're just meeting other designers from all over the country and you're learning about their niches and the way they work and it's just so amazing because that's how you learn and that's how you could
Right.
advance and that's how you could push your business forward.
Yes. So it's like your body is tired, but your soul's kind of fired up by the
Yes,
environment.
100%. I
Love
get to the
that.
hotel room, I'm dead. I don't want to do anything.
Just collapses. Like. But yeah, how have you noticed trade shows have evolved from when you first began versus now? Like the biggest shifts in maybe technology, trends, networking, the layouts of the show.
I think you have to go with a plan, especially to the larger shows. Atlanta's more smaller scale and it's accessory, and not every building is catered to, let's say, home accessories. They have
Right.
jewelry, they have, but if you do go with a plan and you kind of try to navigate, especially High
Right.
Point or Milan, the showrooms that you want to attack first
Sure.
and the connections and the meetings that you have set up. I remember, like, you set up my
Yes.
first show, right,
Yes,
in
I
High Point, and
did.
you set
I set different
meetings up,
meetings with different
but you
times.
were new into, and you didn't really
Yes.
understand that. Like, I can't jump
You
from
can't
this
go, you can't
building
run from
to
there to
that
there.
building because it's like a
Right.
20-minute car ride versus, it's more
Right.
scattered.
Yeah, and like some places are a bit closer than others.
Right. So
Yeah,
the way
you
I
gotta
try
take
to
me with you next
attack it
time.
is like I try to attack all my meetings in one building and then move forward to the next building and then the individual showrooms and
Right.
try to get to see or to place orders with like my priority based on projects.
Right.
Um, and then I think that maybe it's because I'm more familiar and I'm more I have more years under my belt as a new designer, but I just know a lot of like the reps, and it's just like, hi Sarah, sitting, talking, and
Right.
it's more of a warmer environment. Where my first
Yes.
year, I just
You didn't know
I didn't know
anyone.
anyone,
Right.
so
And
so
now,
that's what I try to tell new designers. Do not get frustrated. Go with a plan. You'll meet, you'll talk, you'll just one door opens 10 other doors.
sure.
So you really don't know how your business could advance from the trade shows.
Right. Like as we were saying, you are able to network and meet new people through these shows. And why would you say that's super important for new designers, like building those long-term relationships?
So I have to say, when I first started my career, a dear friend of mine who's retired, she used to work at Lux, and I started Sarah Z Designs, and I couldn't afford anything. She came into my store, and I had a little tiny store, design studio, and she said, Sarah, please sign up with Lux. And I said, Susan, I love you. You're so sweet, but I cannot afford you. I can't afford it. So she said, but it's such a great opportunity. And I said, I can't afford it, maybe one day. And I remember one day she called me up, Sarah, I have a remnant. I could give it to you for like so and so. And I said, okay, I'll take it. And that one connection invited me to a lunch with other designers and other vendors where they and that was their specialty. They created a community in the industry where designers would meet other designers and other vendors, and then you start building up your business, and you're
Yes.
building up not only your friends in the industry, but collaborators and vendors. Oh wow, I could do this, I could get this, how can you help me with this? And you're just building upon building and layering your business, and you're just growing your networking system. And one thing that a lot of designers sometimes miss is that your vendors make you great.
Yes.
If you use the proper vendors and the proper finishes and the proper installers, and you have a seamless, very high level detail installation, which is what we
Yes.
do, your vendors make you look great.
Yes, it saves a lot of time, a lot of headache, and a lot of like
Aggravation.
in the field,
Yes.
especially because things go south. But having people that you can depend on and that you can trust to do things the right way, the right time, or know that can fix the issue,
100%.
like it's so important. It's
we
imperative.
had an issue where, and that was the other thing, we designed in a lot of condos,
Right.
and we didn't realize my first my first installation was this huge wall unit which couldn't fit in the elevator. It was my first project. It was $11,000, and they try to get it in the elevator, they can't get it in the elevator, I can't get it into the apartment. I'm like, what do I do? Oh my God, I cannot afford to lose $11,000. And I remember calling my brother in the industry, and I said, Aaron, I don't know what to do. Nobody ever taught me in
Like
school
no one tells you these things.
that I need to measure the elevator to get this thing into the apartment.
Right.
And he said, okay, I said, what do I do? I can't afford to lose this. I'm like, what do I do? He goes, don't panic. He runs over to the building and he goes, I've done work in this building. I know the building engineer, and we have to pay him a few $100s. And what they did was, which I've never seen before, I don't think they would do it today. I think codes changed. But at the beginning of my career, they leveled the elevator roof with the floor, and they put this unit on top of the elevator roof, and two installers standing up and just going up very slowly,
Oh, on
getting
top of
on
the
top of the
elevator?
elevator, and then two guys waiting in the elevator foyer pulling this unit in. And that's how I got it in, and I don't know how the clients will ever get it out.
I don't think they're looking to take it out, hopefully.
And nobody teaches you those things. But that's where your partnerships
And
collaboration comes in handy, because those are the people that are experienced that could help you,
Right.
and you never know when you're going to be in the jam
Right.
and need that help.
Because we wouldn't have thought to get on top of it.
Definitely
Absolutely
not.
And I bet, like I was saying earlier, it's a really great opportunity for catching up with old friends. Like, are there any fun stories that you have from any of the recent shows, or you've had an opportunity to catch up with people you haven't seen in a
Definitely.
while.
So I've made so many amazing friends in the industry, and a lot of them are our vendors. And I remember that I was in Paris 2 or 3 years ago, and I really wanted to go to this American party where all the
Right.
designers get invited to. It's in a castle. It's amazing. It's an old
Love that.
castle with all painted ceilings, beautiful like Europe.
Stunning.
And you have a window of a half hour before everything gets sold out. And I got on to buy the tickets and it was sold out. And I was with Jeffrey Michaels and Di-Fi, the mom, said, you know what, Sarah, take my ticket. I've done this so many years. Go with Jeff, go with Michael. And I went to the American party. I was so excited. I had my outfit. It was just amazing because it's just the amount of designers, the outfits,
Right.
just the entire overall scheme of the
I
night.
bet it was just
So exhilarating, so exciting. And I go and I bump into my designer friend Joe Fava. And we hang out the entire night. We just had such a great time. And then I hung out with him the rest of the show because that was in the beginning of the show. And we kind of had a few days. We went to the Dior Museum, we went to the Louis
Paris?
Vuitton in Paris,
Oh, wow.
and we started traveling and discovering. And he introduced me to this antique market, Paul Serpent, which was beyond. And you could find so many unique one-piece
yes.
sculptures, art. I mean, jewelry, vintage jewelry. I bought this ring there actually. It's
beautiful.
Tank. It's from the 1940s. They don't make that anymore.
Wow.
And I found it because he introduced me to
Yeah.
Paul Serpent. So you never know where you're going to end up through the shows and the
Right.
people that you're going to meet and the opportunities that you're going to get, whether for yourself personally or for design, interior design. And I just
Right.
encourage new designers, young designers, where no matter how nervous you are, no matter how scared you are or you think you are to go to Europe, connect with other designers, make a plan, go as a group, but really open your horizons and
Right.
just take your business to the next level because that's what it's going to do.
100%. And these shows, there are endless booths, endless showrooms. What do you do personally to maximize your time, like outside of just creating your schedule?
I run through it. I know what I like and I know what I'm
Right.
attracted to. I have a very good sense of what would work in my projects. I don't waste time.
Of course.
And my more important meetings, I give more time to. But definitely, if I have the opportunity to leave the show and I am invited to a factory tour to see how things are made, like in Paris, I was invited to Charles Atelier, which is
Right.
an exquisite lighting company, and their finishes and the way they manufacture and hammer and hand hammer the metal, it's like the artistry is almost like a lost art. And it's like you see it, you still see it in Paris and Milan. You just have to go see that because you could explain to your clients why a certain chandelier can cost $30,000 or $40,000 because it's all handmade. Every piece, every globe, every finish is polished 50 times to get
Like by a
that
person.
shine by one person
Yes.
and not by machinery. And that artistry really is only existing in Europe. It's very,
Right.
and that generation is a losing, we're losing that generation. And I think
Right.
that they're doing a better job in kind of teaching a younger
keeping up that
generation and keeping,
tradition.
exactly. Because I just have to say,
It's one of them.
Europe is second to none. The Italians, their finish, their level of metal and stone, I mean, is second to none. You don't see that refinement
Right.
anywhere.
Right. It's just super, super special.
Yes.
And are there any tips that you have to help like avoid burnout? Like you said, some of these shows, they could be like 7 days long. You're up early in the morning, you get back to your hotel room late at night. You've been walking around all day, your feet hurt, your body's exhausted. How do you keep the energy up?
So honestly, I used to go, and I would be so burnt out. But if I'm really tired, I don't have to catch the shuttle at 7 a.m. I'll stay in bed till 10 and then just start my day a little later. So you know what? I'll miss another showroom, but I need to also, you have to watch your health because,
Right.
and drink a lot, hydrate, eat, make sure that, a lot of the showrooms are so gracious, as I said before. They serve lunch. Take a half hour, sit down, talk to people, eat, be present in what you're doing. Don't be on your phone. Just stare into blank space, unwind mentally
Right.
so you can kind of keep going and pushing through.
Right, it's like a marathon.
Yes, it
Right,
is.
yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, so if I had to ask you right now, if you could only go to 3 shows, if I had to give you only have 3 for the year, which ones can you not miss?
Definitely, I will never miss Paris, never miss Milan. I guess I wouldn't miss High Point. I try to go
High
once
Point's
a year,
big.
even though it's twice a year. I think
Right.
going to High Point once a year is sufficient.
And for people starting out, what are things you didn't know going into your first trade show that you wish you have known before?
I wish I would have made more connections ahead of the show where a lot of the vendors would navigate me the right way and have more friends available or go with other vendors or other designers where the first show I would sit at a bar alone and have dinner alone versus sitting with friends
Right.
and talking and so I think that changed very quickly for me
Right.
because I'm more about relationships and I try to be
Yes.
more personable and I could just talk to a wall. Hi, how are you?
Yes.
But I think it's super important for especially younger designers that are, that never went to Europe or never took the train. Make a friend, call a vendor.
Right.
Are you organizing any designers to go together for the show or to stay at a certain hotel or are you organizing any meals together?
Right,
And
like be proactive in
Exactly.
creating those
Yes.
relationships. I
Yes.
love that. And do you have any like practical tips like with packing or note taking, following up?
So I'm not a good packer. I cannot I cannot travel with just a carry-on. I have to have, especially Europe. You're going to Europe.
Right, you're there for the fashions.
You're there
You
for
have
the
to follow
fashion. You
suit.
have to dress the part.
Right.
You have to shop. So you can't just
Yes.
go with a carry-on.
No.
So I'm not a good packer. I can't give advice on packing.
We don't have packing help. Don't come to us. But as for follow up or just like getting into a good mindset, what do you got for the people?
So just the minute I get on that airplane, I'm a different person. I de-stress from the office. I could think clearly. My blood starts flowing and it's an amazing, whether it's 7, 8, 10 hours, you just de-stress and just go in and just hit it. Just go running, hit the ground running, just get ready to go.
Right. Today's episode's been fun.
Yes,
I love
a lot
that.
of fun.
And I want to go to a trade show with you soon. We should make
Okay.
that happen. Let's
But you
do
can't
it.
hold me back.
You know what? I'm gonna put these little legs to work. We'll be running up and down the streets of Paris.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see. Well, thank you guys for joining us today for our chat about trade shows. We hope you liked it as much as we loved filming it.
Thank you for being part of this.
Right. And if you have any questions, comment below.